Okay, good afternoon and good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Tekedia Live. My name is NDBC Okekwe, speaking today from United States. And I will say congratulations and welcome to Tekedia Mini-MBA graduation day. So just for us to get this thing started, just confirm that my voice is audible. And hopefully in the next 90 minutes, we'll be out of here. So just confirm, please, so that we get started.
We can hear you, sir.
Okay, sir. We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Good evening.
Okay, great.
We are
So
hearing you loud and clear.
Okay, great. So thank you so much once again. And we are truly very honored for this opportunity of coming here and spending the last 13 weeks to co-learn on the mechanics of market system. And I do believe vividly that also through that process, you've actually deepened and you've also accelerated your capabilities within the constructs of market system. So today, as we go through this tradition we do here at Tekedia Mini-MBA, I'll just give a very, very quick presentation. Then after that, we go into question and answer and also get feedback as we continue to do that thing that is needful to find a mechanism to advance knowledge so that at the end of the day, we can apply this knowledge to fix frictions which are evident in markets. And today, the message I have is titled Building Category King Companies and Winning in Business. Of course, we do understand one thing, that market systems are inherently very, very inefficient. And that process of figuring out how to solve that problem, we have to deepen our knowledge systems. And knowledge systems can come from different angles. And we are so honored that as part of your process or deepening that capability that you've actually chosen to Tekedia Mini-MBA. So for us today, we say congratulations on this graduation day. And no matter the form it is coming, we do believe that it's just part of that process of equipping to make the world a better place. Companies exist to do one thing. Companies exist essentially to fix frictions, and frictions are the problems that customers have. And these problems, they come in different forms, they come in different shapes. But one thing that is evident, that for those problems to be solved at the best possible level, companies have to be established. You go back to your secondary school economics, you must have been introduced to demand and supply. These are elements which are very, very fundamental in the structures of market system. Those that have goods and services to deliver, those that actually need those services, but they cannot easily come into an equilibrium point because market systems are imperfect. So what happens? We say that you need to set up companies. And when you now set up companies, you provide the avenue for those that need services, for those that need products or services to now come to interact with those that have the capacity to provide those products and services. And this is key because what is full of information asymmetry? You've got something, you know something, the other person does not know, but you know that you have it. So there is just no way that information can easily flow without the process of building companies. And I've always given this very simple example that I imagine that NDBC just landed in Lagos right now, and I don't have a family member I can eat food in his or her house. The option I have is to start knocking at every door in Lagos looking for somebody who has food and who is also willing to serve. And knock on the first door, second door, third door. There is a propensity that I may not even find somebody who is going to serve food. But at the same time I am knocking, there is someone who has food, but I may not knock on his or her door. So the implication of that is this. The person can just stay one day, second day, he has to essentially go and do one thing. This waste that food because I cannot discover that individual. And that individual can also discover me. So we said that information asymmetry has essentially made it impossible for demand and supply to come into a near equilibrium point. But you know one thing? That individual that has that food say, let me go and set up a restaurant business. And by setting up that restaurant business, one thing becomes evident. That person can now make it possible that demand and supply can happen. So whenever I'm very hungry, I don't have to be knocking at doors. I just go to that business. That business is a restaurant, and there I can now be served. The same thing happens in banking. The same thing happens in oil and gas. The same thing happens in practically every domain that we participate in market system. Companies exist to provide that vehicle where demand and supply can come to have a near perfect equilibrium point so that transaction can take place. But how do we now make those companies great? We said that companies need to acquire capabilities. You need to have managerial know-how. You need to have technical capabilities. You need to have leadership knowledge systems. You just have to acquire many things that will not make it possible either you are running banking services or you are cooking very good food in that restaurant business. So those things are capabilities. And we say there are so many things that we need to build those capabilities. We need to have the mechanism of becoming people that seek knowledge, new knowledge systems that can actually make us better. And they also have the spirit of taking risks so that we can pioneer new paths in our markets. And of course, we also need to have people that can help us to execute those business models that we are architecting. We call them labor force, we call them people. So at the end, three things are powerful, are needed, are critical: the people, the processes, and tools. When we organize these three things, we can now create products and services that can now be unleashed in markets to fix the frictions that customers have. We need these things, and at the end of the day, it's something that happens. So in Tekedia Mini-MBA, we now say, hey, how do we now prepare business leaders so that they can now efficiently combine and recombine these elements or factors of production in order to create products and services that can now go and overcome the frictions which are evident in markets. And over the last 12 weeks, we have looked at so many fundamental elements and fundamental critical things that we feel very, very critical. We see innovation is key, because if we do not innovate, we cannot figure out a better way of solving problems for customers. And then we said that even as we are innovating, we need to make sure that that innovation is driving growth. Because how can you say you are innovative if that innovation is not translating to growth? Innovation must drive growth, and growth must be evident, because if you do not have that growth, it means that the friction you are trying to fix, you are not actually doing a good job. The woman that runs a restaurant, if the first day she can make a sale of $2, and after 2 years, she can only make a sale of $3, you agree with me that that business is not growing. What that means is that the friction she's trying to solve to make it possible that people can eat food in that restaurant, that her mission is not being accomplished. Because there is only one way we know that our mission is being accomplished, and that is through one thing: the revenue that we capture in that process of serving customers. Because revenue is a compensation that companies earn as a result of helping people to fix frictions in their lives. You go to a business, you are very, very hungry, and that business is called a restaurant. When they have served you food, you pay them you pay them money. That money is compensating them for overcoming that hunger, which was a friction in your life. You now go into a bank. There is a fee the bank charges you for helping you to make that transfer from Lagos to London. That fee you are paying the bank is compensating that bank for that friction it has overcome for you, making it possible that that money can be transferred from Lagos to London. For the bank, is called a revenue, and you have compensated it. So that revenue tracks your efficiency, your capacity, your ability to serve those customers, and those customers are coming for you to keep serving them. And in our program, we said innovation drives growth, that we are also mindful of a new redesign which is happening in the world. And that redesign is what we call the digital systems are changing the ordinance of market system, rewiring the architecture of our world of business. So you see the new species of companies are being formed. Some of them are very, very new. The most and the largest dominant financial service company in Nigeria is FloraWave. It's worth about more than $4 billion. There is no bank in Nigeria that is even worth up to $2 billion. But this FloraWave is not even a decade old. And then you go into logistics. The most valued logistics company in Nigeria may not even be the one you know. So we are seeing so many vistas so many new models and processes, systems, which technology systems powered by digital technology, the internet, and are making it possible to come to pass. So we say, no matter what you do, no matter this domain that you operate, you cannot not afford not to pay attention to the implication of that digital execution. So for us, innovation, growth, and digital execution brings that composite that if you do that, we can now do one thing very, very amazing. Great companies solve the needs of customers, but we have noted here that better companies not just serve the needs of customers, they actually go to the expectation of customers. But the best companies in the world do not just focus on the needs and the expectation of customers, they move at the level of the perceptions of customers. Perceptions of customers, basically giving customer things most times they never even expected, but the day they see those things, they begin to say, wow. So these things are actually possible. You solve the needs of customers, but the needs of customers will evolve. You meet their expectations today, fine, but tomorrow they will expect more. If you can stay ahead of their needs, stay ahead of expectations, you are going to lead them into a new world. We said that you can now turn them from becoming customers into fans. The greatest companies in the world make their customers to become fans. Because when you get into that dimension of fandom, you have a tribe, and those tribes are made of other customers. Look at companies like Indomie Noodles. Look at companies like Apple. You see, they are companies and they are also super companies. Because when Apple wants to launch a new iPhone, especially United States of America, you see young men that will take days out of work just to have an opportunity of spending a monthly income on a piece of a device. They leave home at 4 a.m., wait for 2 hours just for them to buy that device. They are not just customers, they are fans. And when you can build fandom, great things happen in your company. So what we said here, that innovation gives you the capacity to create a new basis of competition. New basis of competition, we mean people have been doing things this way, but you are coming to offer a new roadmap, a new paradigm, a new domain, and you now create a path. When you do that, and when you get to that pinnacle, you stay there alone. So over the last 13 weeks, we have looked at so many things. We look at innovation design and other components of innovation. Look at growth, look at business systems and processes, look at business models and transformation. Also look at into the deep future, where we are not talking about exponential technology. Singularity. In other words, the world we know today is going to be redesigned. The world we know today is going to be changed. And what that means is we have to plan, because very, 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 very soon, some of the things that we call state of the art today will become obsolete. In the world of technology, machines are going to become smarter. Artificial intelligence is going to permeate practically every aspect of our business operations. How are we going as a people to respond? How are we going to position ourselves? We look into that through exponential technology. We also look into the contemporary technologies of today, how they are driving growth and shaping innovation at different angles. Finance, investing, fundraising, logistics, supply chain, and we also look at those elements. So at the end, what we are trying to do here is to deepen our knowledge capacity so that we can go back, combine the factors of production to create the best possible products and services, so that at the end of the day, we can go into the market, serve our customers, earn that revenue, and fix that friction that we have been established that business for. Marketing, sales, business objectives, we also look at them, law, contracting, and globalization. Then leadership, human and project management. So go back and see over the last 13 weeks, some of these things that we've looked at them. The purpose and the mission of farm comes down to combining and managing all these elements: accounting, sustainability, risk management, growth, opportunity, and business execution. Now, of course, we have so many live sections here and just preparing it. And what we're trying to do here is to find how we can win in markets. And I'll show you this very popular coach. He's a coach of a football team in Rome called AC Roma. But we know him, Jose Mourinho. He was a former coach of SC Porto, who won the Champions League. Later on, became the coach of Chelsea, became the coach of Inter Milan. I think Inter Milan, right? Inter Milan, right? Later, Real Madrid, Manchester United. You know, he's been everywhere. But there is just one thing we know about him. This man has been winning. And because he has been winning, the world has been reusing him. How can you be a coach of another club, another club, another club, another club? Because he has some rings. So when you have the rings, the world will keep believing that they can also come back because you can help them get more rings. So there is a lesson there. And that lesson is this. We need to have capacity to win on something. When we win in the market, the impact begins to compound. So I have looked at 5 pillars or 5 phases towards that part of winning the market, towards that trajectory that we need for us to be able to have the parts to win. So the first thing, of course, I've already noted, you need to have a plan, what you want to do in that business. You need to accumulate capability. Accumulating capability means you need to understand whatever you want to pursue, what you need to be successful in pursuing that thing. And you need to acquire the necessary skills that you need to find that sources. And then when you have done that, you test to validate that capability in the market. Then you now begin to execute it. And of course, where you are today, you cannot just be satisfied tomorrow. You still keep moving forward. And as you keep moving that forward, that's how you make success. If you look at agriculture, look at healthcare services, look at real estate, look at education, look at technology, and all domains of our industrial sectors in Africa, you just see that many things are still at the level of infancy. Just think about it. In the United States of America, they have about 330 million people. Their GDP is around $27 trillion. But in sub-Saharan Africa, we have a population at least 1 billion people. And what is our GDP? It's around 3 trillion. So in other words, America has been able to ramp up the GDP to 27 trillion, just at 330 million people. Why we, more than 1 billion people, cannot even get up to 5 trillion. So looking specifically in Nigeria, you could see that it has even exceedingly underperformed. So my point is this, that when we manage the factors of production efficiently, we can actually accelerate our impact across different market elements and different market sectors. And when we do that, many beautiful things will begin to happen around the continent. And those many things are actually very, very key. But as they happen, there is going to be massive level of shifts. In this program, we've discussed through so many ways that those shifts are going to constantly happen because technology systems are going to continuously change everything that we do today. So at the end, we want to accomplish one thing: build great companies, build enduring category king companies. Category king companies are companies that are dominant, are companies that have won, are companies that are winning, are companies that have shown the ability that they can take up a market and become leaders in that particular market. So what are the characteristics of those category king companies? Because that is the destination we are hoping that we get to. Remember, it could be your own company. It could also be in the company for somebody who works. We don't believe one thing, that the tools, the capabilities, skills, construct, model, processes, things that we have accumulated and acquired through this process can actually make us better people. When we go back to work, the companies will work, become more efficient, become more productive. Or even the companies that we found, that we can actually apply some of those constructs. We said that perceptively innovative, basically becoming good to serve customers at the dimension that they get better value by using our products and services. You look at businesses like Tesla, how they are taking customers on a journey. You are trying to build as a competitor to Tesla, where Tesla is today. But at the time you get to where Tesla is today, Tesla has defined a new world. And by the time you are trying to catch it up, it has also created a new world. Perceptively innovative is basically saying, I will take my customer from where they are into a world that they don't know that exists. But when I take them there, they are going to be very, very grateful because a company like me exists and I have the capacity to do that. And there is also evidence of inspiration. Inspiration is thinking about how a great company can have the capacity to inspire people from using the products and services. I don't know if you have ever had an opportunity of using a product that inspires you on the thoughtfulness, the visions that people put in to create a product. When you look at maybe products like iPhone, look at the old generation banking system and how when the new generation banks were coming in Nigeria, how inspired those new generation banks were. You have gone from Kano to Lagos to do a business transaction, and you have a bank account in the old Union Bank. You run out of cash, but there are many branches of Union Bank. They're in Lagos, but you open your bank account in Kano, and they say, unfortunately, ma'am, you cannot withdraw this money, even though there are many, many branches of Union Bank in Lagos. How do you get that money? You have to get back to Kano, to the same specific branch where you opened that branch account. That was the only place you could get that money out. And then a bank run by 30-something-year-old guys. I remember those days, we read that Tony Elumelu and co, they were called the cowboys because banking was not for young men and women. Banking was for old people. And now you saw 30-something-year-old guys say they were running banks. That when you come, if you have opened that bank account in Kano, even in Lagos, you can withdraw the same money that you put into that. And if you go to Owerri, if you go to Aba, if you go to Shobo, you go to any part of Nigeria, you can operate that bank in the same bank account. I mean, that was an inspiration. That was something people had claimed was not a possibility. And that was exceedingly inspired innovation within the banking system. And some people say, wow, if I open this bank account here, I can operate it in any branch of GT Bank, Zenith Bank, or Diamond Bank. And they won the world. They won the world of Nigerian banking because they brought a massive level of inspiration and customers went along. And you can also see obsession to customer. Obsession here means you don't just stop that you have served them at 7/10 rating. You're trying to get to that 10/10. You're trying to be the best possible you can to go beyond even what the customers think is the best. You know, look at companies like Amazon. Vividly, when I came to the United States, it's typical that you get a package after 4 or 5 days. But Amazon now said, no, we don't want you to wait for 4 days, 5 days. We are going to challenge the norm, the ordinance that the United States Postal Service had put off for many, many decades. We are going to cut it down to 3 days. We're going to cut it down to a day. In some parts of America, if you buy something on Amazon, you get the item within less than 4 hours. That is customer obsession. You want to stay ahead of the perceptions of customers to give them things that they may not have even asked, that you believe vividly that when you release that thing into the market, that great things will happen. Then ruthless pragmatism. Ruthless pragmatism means that the product works. Just imagine little kids have gotten Indomie noodles and they want to prepare sharp food. They know that it's going to be great. And mom can just quickly prepare it. She goes to work. The point I'm making here is building a category king company requires some of these major characteristics. And if you can do them irrespective of the sector that you are operating, I promise you one thing, that market system will have an opportunity for you. But the key thing, remember, is that the format and the form, the person that won in that particular sector may not necessarily be the way your own will be. You know, just talk about it. People used to say, hey, the banking sector in Nigeria is exceedingly very competitive. There's just no opportunity. There's no opportunity. Don't waste your time. When Paystack guys came, they did not read that memo. They did their own financial services in their own way. So what I'm trying to say, the same way that GT Bank, Zenith Bank competed against Union Bank of old may not necessarily be the same way you expect the generation of Paystack, and Flora Wave to do. And hopefully the next 10, 20 years, new generation of species of company will come. So you have to come with innovation. And when you come with innovation, you can actually build a dominant market. And when we do these things, we have seen that the world has constantly been changed. You look through this map, this plot, you see one thing, that for hundreds of years, world GDP was flat. Generations of people that lived apart did not experience any major change in their living standards. But you also look at here, the flattened GDP started giving us a very huge exponential GDP. But what is going on, unfortunately, is that not every part of the world is experiencing this type of growth. America, China, and some pockets of nations, Western Europe, experiencing this massive level of translation. So Africa in general, we are still largely stuck here. No growth. No growth. But it turns out, if you look at what they did to move from these toxics of generations of people becoming poorer, because the number of people that lived here were more than the number of people that lived here. Number of people that lived here were more than the number of people that lived here. And if the GDP had remained flat, it means that the per capita income was actually dropping. And that means this generation was poorer than this generation, was poorer than this generation. But they reverse it. They reverse it in China. So how can Africa reverse it? It comes through market systems. When you fix the problem of electricity through innovation, you blossom the opportunity for people to go and build new companies. When you fix the problem of security through innovation, innovation can come from governance, innovation can come from market system, innovation can come from different domains in our living, our stars. So we need to have that process through market systems for us to begin to solve some of these fundamental problems. Because what we notice in the world is this. We are in the age of innovation society. We're just at that early phase of the 21st century. And we're already seeing the level of massive acceleration of value that we are seeing. We call this the wave one. The wave two is coming. And that is where we move into the artificial intelligence, autonomous systems. And when these systems begin to have dominant impacts in our life, many, many things will begin to have impacts. You know, I'm an engineer and I have this opportunity of working with engineering teams. And one of the things when I look at even in the field of medicine is how people are doing everything necessary, trying as much as possible to see how that even the machines that we know today can even help to shape the future of medicine. You go to most parts of Nigeria today, major cities, you see that we can't just even do some basic things. You go to Mali, you go to most parts of South Africa. But these guys have conquered here. They are now plotting here, and they are moving here. And the problem here is this. Just like a rich man who has software working for him, the rate he can spend money is going to be slower than the rate he's making money. And that is the reason why all these billionaires, they are just becoming richer, because even though most of them are trying to give out the money, the rate that they are compounding the leftovers is always faster than the rate they're actually spending whatever they want to spend. So just look at it, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Larry Ellison, they keep donating billions, but they check at the end of the year, they keep having more billions at the end of the day. What is happening is called the innovation society era. Technology systems have been deployed, and these systems are compounding the impacts of whatever they are doing. And they're also making the societies where they live fairly better. So for us, we need to build companies, we need to build market systems, we need to drive innovation. And when we drive that innovation, we can now unleash a massive level of growth that we can now move out of the statistics of these flattening GDP into the growing path, exponential impact, parabolic path of this GDP. And when we do that, people will have jobs, people have opportunities, and great things will happen in our community. So I'm hoping that through the Tekedia Institute, that we have also worked with you, co-learned with you to advance your capacity, deepen your prospects, so that you can pursue that interest to see how we can build those businesses and companies, market system that can actually help elevate people. To go back to that philosophical slogan of University of Nigeria and Soka, which says to restore the dignity of man. And I've always liked to say man and woman, because I know that when University of Nigeria and Soka put that slogan, we are not in the world that we are today. So to restore the dignity of man and woman, it means that markets have to work, and if markets have to work, all of us have to get our own part done. And that means that we have to be ready to lead. And I will say congratulations once again for co-learning with us at Tekedia Mini-MBA. I will say congratulations. And thank you so much. So I will now open it up for question and answer. And just before we do that, let me just round up with certain things here. I say congratulations. So many beautiful things happen through this program. And I also say, if you have not completed your lab and the homework, please do so. Just send it across, make time to accommodate you. And also we have a LinkedIn profile. Just post your everything, your certificates once you get, and tag us. And I promise you that we'll try to also share the love. Make comments, and you have access for 12 months from the day we started this program. So if you don't have time, the moment, just pace yourself. And if you want to join the next Tekedia Mini-MBA, we believe we're going to revamp curriculum as we do yearly, and alumni members get 50% discounts in our courses. And we also have a capstone. And as you know, we have Tekedia Capital, which is our investment vehicle. We invest massively in companies in Sub-Saharan Africa. I think we should be the largest. And what we are doing here is that we actually investing. We've identified the really great companies through this program, and we ended up giving them $30,000, $50,000, and so many of them have actually gone to raise millions of dollars. So we will like, if you participated, we'd like to see your reports, but you have to independently submit it to Tekedia Capital, because these two companies are distinct and we do not share data because of intellectual property. We have to respect. So gentlemen, ladies, thank you so much. And I would like to take questions so that we can allow you to go back and have a wonderful evening. So refer us to your office, your friends, your families. We're very, very happy to continue that party. So let's take the first one here. And it comes from Godwin, please go ahead.
Good evening, Prof. Good evening, everyone. I just want to first of all start by thanking you for this opportunity and this platform to co-learn and then to also build capabilities. I would want to confirm to you that there's one thing you've always said, that your expression will change, and I'd want to confirm to the house that honestly, when I communicate, the way I communicate has really, really changed. And I want to say thank you. I'm already feeling very emotional, and I'm not taking it for granted.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
I saw a video recently where the video was saying that Tesla is going to release a smartphone, and then they were comparing the smartphone with the iPhone, and then specifications that the Tesla phone is going to come with that the iPhone does not have. And I was now comparing the level of patronage with the iPhone and then the Tesla phone, which is the Tesla would have better specification than the iPhone. But you get to see this, sorry for this word, to see this madness around the iPhone. My question is, what is it that the iPhone is actually doing that has created this level of commitment from their customers? You might be buying an iPhone that has less specification compared to other phones, but people really want to use the iPhone as against using other phones. What would you say that iPhone is actually doing? What do they have? What is that thing that they're actually doing that other companies are not?
Yes, thank you so much. And I think in this program, we've also looked at perception. I think that's the key thing here. You do not just win because you build the best product. You also win because you also create a perception around that product. one of the things that the iPhone guys did very, very well is to create this illusion that iPhone is more than a phone. iPhone is a companion. iPhone does many, many things than just having an iPhone, you feel you have got the right deal. So people that buy it, they don't just buy it because it's just an ordinary phone. And that is the reason why when Steve Jobs was alive, if you had leaked a new version of an iPhone, he would take you to court. So he protected that because he felt that the biggest benefits that iPhone or Apple was getting was not anything than getting free press. So if a new iPhone was being launched, all the major television stations in America will carry that as the leading network news. And that leading network news, if they had gone to pay for that advertisement, it would have cost them at least $3 million each. But every new major newspaper in America will see it as a breaking news. CNN will say new iPhone is coming as a breaking news. So at the end of the day, the one said, ability to sustain that kind of suspense, that kind of separation in the minds of customer was also very, very critical, that if people are going to the market to buy something, even if they may have the best product in their hand, provided it's not iPhone, it is not iPhone. And I take you back I would say the days of masquerade in the Nigerian television series by Zebrodai Lomaji, I think Zebrodai or Gloria. I can't just remember Nati. I don't know if you watched that. The masquerade, Grigory Akobov. So there was this advertisement by the wife of Zebrodai. Say, if it's not Panadol, you know, be fina Panadol. I can remember that. So if you look at that thing called Panadol, I think there was an ingredient, either paracetamol or something. I'm not a pharmacist, so I may be missing things up here. That ingredient was available in practically all those pain relievers. But what they were saying there was, if it's not Panadol, it cannot be like Panadol. And by creating that impression in the minds of Nigerians, all the other drugs struggled and failed because they have created an illusion that it was only Panadol that could do that. And that is what is happening on iPhone. But of course, there is a difference of hyping a product to actually when you buy the product. It turns out today that at the end of the day, after the hype about the iPhone, when you actually buy it, iPhone validates the hypothesis that you already had. It was actually a great product. And because of the capacity of sustaining that hype through the way it works, people now become fans, no more customers. And now say, hey, I like this product because it works the way it has been designed. And that is the difference. We are not aware of any phone in the world that can actually do most of these things that iPhone does. iPhone today is a luxury product. It's a luxury product. I knew that people that use the iPhone smartwatch, they are not using it to check what time, because why do you need a watch in the modern world when you have a phone? I mean, but they're using it as a luxury product. And that is what Apple did very, very well. If you go to the week 2, I think week 2 of our program, there was a case study I put there about Intel. I noted how Intel was struggling to separate itself from other microprocessor builders. At a time, the market, people will go to the market to buy a laptop, desktop. They will say, do you have Dell laptop, HP laptop, Lenovo, IBM laptop? Nobody was asking about the microprocessor that was running that laptop. So Intel brought out a sticker called the Intel Inside sticker. If you have a laptop that uses Intel, there will be a sticker that says Intel Inside. That created a perception that Intel Inside will actually make your laptop better, even though people were not even noticing it before. But you know what happened? By having that sticker on all Intel products, AMD and other competitors, most of them will nearly collapse. In short, the other collapsed, only AMD that survived. So the stock crashed. Intel had the best decade because everyone wanted to buy a laptop that has Intel inside. So that's what I'm trying to note here, gentlemen and ladies, that thriving, booming, succeeding in business goes beyond technology. is that your marketing team can be the most potent and the most effective and the most productive part of your business. The way they position your product, the way they tell the customers about your product can actually change in their minds what that product is all about. We're not saying here go and tell lies. We're saying even when you have created the right product, how are you communicating or telling people about that product in the market? Just look at what is going on in Elon Musk Twitter. Everyone is saying Twitter is going to crash, Twitter is going to fade, Twitter, or listening to BBC, how long will it take? But you know one thing? Just look into Twitter now, you see they have even changed the outlook, how it looks. Here it's not taking before you know it. It may just start doing so well, and you ask yourself why? Because in the last 2 months, if you count the media mention of Twitter across the world, there is no way they would have had a budget to pay for that media mention. So this guy is now making this product so common. All politicians know about it now. Everyone is talking about it every day. And this guy doesn't need to pay anybody. Wall Street Journal, New York Times, they are writing about Twitter. I think that thing, there is a message there. The more people know it, the more people feel. If you're not on Twitter, you have not actually been in the world of business or market. So let's take the next question. Edith, please go ahead. Go ahead, please, Ed.
Yeah, Prof, thank you very much.
Okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
Prof,
okay.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to my trainees who stressed out this 12 good weeks thereabout. It's fantastic period for us. Prof, my question is actually about going forward. Now that we are rounding up this particular course, we are now looking into some of the freebies that you gave us in this course, including but not limited to the security information, cyber security training that you offered with this training. Also, some of the free books, your book and the Dangote book again. My effort to get into the training, I've just tried to register, but I've not gotten any response as if I am registered or not. I follow the process and procedure you specified. Again, the clarification I want, especially on your books and Dangote books, is are there ebooks that are going to be sent to our email box so that we can read it maybe from anywhere, or are they web-based books? Because my effort to download it or to have it on a special distance so that I can be going about with it, I couldn't see how to get through that. That's why I actually need this small clarification. Once again, thanks for the freebies that is associated with the training. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Ed. So first and first, on the FA Cyber, just email the team that you want that. They will give you a link where you can go and you get access to each of the tracks that you have interest. We have the cybersecurity for technology, we have the one for policy, the one for digital forensics, and then also have the one for management. So just let them know. Write the team. The email is info@tekedia.com or tekedia@fastmicro.com. On the ebook, actually it's an ebook, you have to read it on the web. We didn't have it on PDF because Amazon will not allow us to host a copy of that Sankofa innovation if you have it in a PDF. There are some restrictions if you also have books sold on Amazon on how you can distribute it. So it has to be a web. So what happens there is you just go to the site, log in, since you already have the password. But you can also print it, digitally print it. So if you open it on a Google Chrome, you could do Control P. When you do Control P, it will help you to print it. So when you have printed it, you can merge it and also get a PDF out of it. But we don't generate that PDF so that we do not violate Amazon's publishing requirement. I just write to the team. I promise you that I think they do support very, very effectively, and they will provide you any guidance that you need. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, so let's go to Olawale, please. Olawale, go ahead, please.
Good evening, everyone, and congratulations. Prof, thank you so very much for the massive 12 weeks. Mine is not a question, actually. Mine is just to acknowledge the depth and the energy on this program. I love the level of diversity and inclusion. I also like the simplicity. And I want to say that for some of us, and if not every one of us on this program, I think we are already an advocate. We're very proud. I'm very proud about this. And I just want to thank you for the massive 12 weeks. Very, very, interesting. And it's taking us forward. I love it. Thank you so very much, Prof.
Thank you. Thank you. We truly appreciate this. And I would say we see this as a community service, I must note. And it's also the way we look at the pricing. And we are very, very confident that many great things will happen. We've identified many great, amazing businesses here supported. And without Tekedia Mini-MBA, there will not be Tekedia Capital. We do invest millions of dollars every quarter. Big companies like Touch and Pay, our Pass, Minton, we know some of these startups invested millions of dollars in them. But Tekedia Capital actually came because of Tekedia Mini-MBA. So we want to just say thank you so much. And of course, if you have a product and nobody pays attention, you feel that you have not done that. So the validation that we have received from the market, we are very, very grateful. And want to say thank you so much. And we do believe we can get better. And we do believe that we continue to find better means of co-learning, as we like to say, because we're also learning as much as we're also trying to share the little we have. So thank you so much for the kind words, and thank you. So let's go to Shola. Shola, go ahead, please.
Hello, a very good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
And thank you very much for the mentorship for the past 13 weeks and the lectures. Anyway, it's just a brief one for me, not a question, just a very brief comment. I would want to say a very big thank you for the opportunity for this course, and especially to my friend who is also on call, I believe, who gave me the information about this course. And the reason why I'm especially thanking him is because one of the things I believe can make someone to scale in business is information. And in one of your lectures, you mentioned that. And so he has played that very vital role in my business life, because I can tell you of the truth. As a result of this training, my antenna for business has widened quite well, and I hold that to this very amazing platform, as well as my friends. So Joseph, thank you very, very much for introducing me to this course, and congratulations to you, to me, and to every other person. Thank you. That's all about my comment.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So let's go to Emmanuel, please. Emmanuel.
Oh, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, everybody. Yes, thank you very much, sir, for the opportunity to, and sincerely, it has been a period of transformation and mental development. So my question or comment is it possible to have access to you after this class? Because ending today, like we get this level of value and insights, both in business, career, and a lot of things where you've developed that capacity. So that's my question. How can we access to you?
Yeah, just connect with me on LinkedIn. Actually, I do try to respond. It may take a little while, but I do try to respond. So just feel free. And I think that's the aspect. Just send. I do try to respond. It may take a little while, but I do. Okay, great. So let's go to Juliet, please. Just have 10 minutes. Want to make sure that we leave.
Good evening, Prof.
Yeah, good evening, Juliet.
Thank you very much, Prof. I am so grateful. I want to say a very big thank you to you. I want to say a big thank you to the Tekedia group team. Well, I think a lot of people don't know, but I came on board through a very special route, courtesy of Prof. And I'm so grateful. And I'm also especially thankful that I have opportunity to make up for my classes. We have quite a lot to do in 13 weeks. And for somebody like me, I like to truly learn. So, for some people, they may not want to rush through their courses because, well, they may not learn that way. So they may want to take their time. But in my own case, I want to say a very, 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 very big thank you to Prof in particular. And I want to thank him also for the times that we've interacted. And I really appreciate the inputs that he made. So, and I also want to thank the Tekedia, the content that I have gotten so far. They are not the regular, theory courses. There are things that you learn and then you have to practice it. So I want to give it up to the Tekedia team for that. So a very big thank you to you again, Prof, and the Tekedia team. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. And I'll also just say, that we truly appreciate that you chose us, and for us, we should really thank. So thank you so much. Thank you, Juliet, and everyone. Thank you. So let's go to Adele, please. And Adele, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, Prof.
Yeah, good evening.
And good evening, everyone. Congratulations to us all. I'm particularly grateful for this opportunity. I'm an educationist. I work as a facilitator for special needs children. And one of the reasons why I came on board is to learn the business aspect of education. What I do basically is more of charity, helping children. So one question I would like to ask tonight is do you have a plan or like an aspect of your program that does maybe sponsorship for special needs, children that would need some extra support and their parents are not able to do that? Because most of what you've said so far is more business. I didn't see the education, sector, coming into your discussion. So please, can you throw more light on that, sir?
Yeah, so first and foremost, we're a business school. That is
yes,
I know.
Yeah.
But there are programs that we have which are created for specific sectors, but we have them under Tekedia Advanced Diploma programs. So if you go to the Tekedia Advanced Diploma program, you see courses that are tailor-made for maybe this logistics, healthcare, agriculture, and education. So those ones are now, I would say, specific.
Okay, sir.
So you just go to our website, you check that. So, but on the Tekedia Mini-MBA, our focus here is more of the process and the mechanics of running companies and making them very, very efficient. And then we don't go into, we have many, I think, we do give a lot of scholarship opportunities to people in the educational space. I think Itayo is here, we must have given close to, I think, at least up to 100 and something in this one to teachers. We many teachers here across Africa, actually, especially rural teachers, we had at least not less than 100 scholarships to them. Of course, many people don't come here live. So, but we don't focus on what they do with the student. Rather, we focus on, is that something that these teachers can come here to co-learn with us? Possibly when they go back to classroom, they can run their schools better. So that's the only level we get to. In this new one we're starting, we're going to have a lot of Catholic priests. We have many of them already, I think about 17 of them registered. And what they are trying to do also is just to get exposed to the whole understanding of how to run businesses, and hopefully they can run the parishes better and things like that. So that's the angle. But of course, we're not now teaching on how to do mass or how to do sacraments. No, that's not our core.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Thank
great.
You,
so let's go to Chukuras, please. Chukuras. Is Chukuras there? Okay. If Chukuras is not there, let's go to Dada, please. Dada.
I'm there.
Okay, go ahead, please. Go ahead, unmute yourself.
I'm there.
Okay, go ahead, please. We can't hear you.
Thank you. I must say thank you to you.
Okay, thank you.
Can you hear me, please, Prof?
Absolutely, Roger.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. Go
Can
ahead.
You hear me?
We can hear you. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Absolutely, we can hear you. I said, go ahead.
Thank you, Prof. Actually, okay. I must say that you are a blessing to Africa, and I am very, very grateful. This is why I every day I thank you so much, and you are very generous with knowledge. I'm a software developer, but through you, I've learned that everything is not about sitting down before a computer and coding. So I have a question for you. I have a question that I would love you to address, because that will help me to know if I will be able to move forward with my ideas.
Go ahead.
The question is this: I have a market friction in a fintech related is a fintech related solution, but my major concern is the CBN license, the amount of money that is required to get a license for that. That has been my worry. It has been a setback for me. How do I get the level of connection to get people that are going to invest such amount of money for such a solution? So I don't know if it is possible for one to start and to start and get that license, or maybe later. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. The best option, you don't have to start with the license. What you need to do is test the hypothesis of that business by anchoring on a license another entity has. So the pathway most companies follow is that they go to a bank. Usually, I'll tell you, I'm not marketing any company here. Polaris Bank is very good on that. Wema Bank is very good on that. If you just go and key in on their license, they will give you a kind of an API, which will enable you to serve your customer and do whatever you have to do, complying with the Central Bank of Nigerian regulation. But now you're going through that through Wema Bank or Polaris. Then after you have done that, you validated that what you are building makes sense, you raise money, then you go and get your own license. But you don't have to on day one go and start filing CBN license, because first thing first, you don't have the fund. Second thing first, why do you have to do that? Because you don't even know whether these products, when you launch it, whether it has any value. So just piggy bank on a company that has a license, operate for a couple of months. When you have seen their data, people will give you money to go and get a license. So that's the way startups do that. There is another company in Lagos. If you write, I don't know, I don't just want to start mentioning names here, so we don't make this so commercial. And they actually have a license. That is their business. They just get this license. So when you come to them, you subscribe. You now, through that license, you can run anything you want to run in Lagos. I don't know if you got the point. So not having a license should not stop you pursuing that vision. Just ask the right people, they will guarantee you what to do. Yeah, go to, I think the name of the company is Venture Gardens Group. Venture Gardens Group. They have license that you can tap into and run and start your business. Yeah, let's go to Dada, please. Dada, go ahead. Dada, go ahead.
Well, good evening, sir, and thank you for Tekedia Institute. Thanks for the impact. So my question is on production and invention of products. As someone who works around engineering products and developing, like making a product to serve a purpose, like for example, maybe a mini generator that consumes less fuel. So my question is, for someone like this, how do one go about patenting, or let me say, patenting the product in the sense that I don't have a company, but I have a product I want to produce. And I want to probably partner with a company to be producing to making the product I have. So my question is, How do one go about it?
Yeah.
And secondly,
okay.
Sorry, my second question is it good to rather own this product outside Nigeria and bring it in, or can one still do it within Nigeria and ship to other countries?
Okay, yeah, so on the one of patenting, it's really very straightforward. Actually have a course there on that in the board. If you go to the Federal Ministry of Trade and Investments, that is the agency, Nigerian government bureaucracy that handles intellectual property and corporate patenting. Just go there and file it. But I must tell you, if your business is based on the capacity that you have to sue somebody that wants to come and violate your intellectual property, that is a competitive advantage. You don't have any business. Getting a patent does not mean that you're serving customers. Getting a patent does not mean that people are buying your product. And 99% of the time, patenting or getting patents in Nigeria is just more of a cosmetic stuff. You are not going to win the market because you have patent. But trademarking is key. Those are the typical ones people do. So, but you can go to the Ministry of Trade and Investment, file your patents. 99% of the time, they will approve it once you pay the fee. I don't even know whether they review it. But if what you have is top-notch from your own angle, very, very good, and what people do is they now go to United States and do that. But remember, even if you go to United States, if your product is never going to be sold in United States, there is no need of getting a US patent, because patent does not mean that you cannot sell outside the jurisdiction where that patent is, except if you are getting a world patent, which is a totally different ballgame. So your competitiveness must not be based that you have to have exclusivity, because most times I just think not many things are really, really new. So that's the point. But go ahead, and there are good lawyers. If you send to admin, we can point you to 2-3 guys that can help you, give you a direction on where you can get that.
Okay, but you've not answered the part that said, assuming I don't have a company, but I have a product I want to bring into the market. How do I go about partnering with a company that already exists to make the product and bring it to the market?
Yeah, most companies will not necessarily like to work with an individual. Why not you just go to corporate affairs, or you go to your state board where you register companies, the local version of Corporate Affairs Commission in Nigeria, register a company, even a business name. The business name is basically you, but it's a little bit separate from you. But a limited company is totally, largely separated from you. If you want to play in that level, it's far better than you going with your name, because it doesn't just sound really good for a company that has a reputation to start signing contracts with another person to take that person's idea to the market. Most times people like to work with companies because there are so many reasons why that happens. So I will also suggest you can just go and get a business name. I think it's 5,000 Naira in Nigeria, and you can get one in Lagos. I think it comes out quickly. It doesn't take time because there's no name search at the federal level. But the best option is to go to get a limited liability company, which actually separates your assets from the assets of that company, which means that if the company fails, it does not mean that you have also failed. So that should be what I would suggest you make a consideration, especially when you are now looking at partnership approach with other partners.
Okay, based on that, I actually, maybe because of how I put it, normally I have a company I register. So that's presenting it through a company is not the challenge. But what the matter is who to partner with, like identifying where to go to.
Okay, that's a different ballgame. I mean, I think that's not a conversation we can have here, because if you tell me, just like the last question from Chukura, he asks about whom to partner indirectly, I say go and talk to Venture Garden Group, go and talk to Wema Bank, Polaris. These are companies that can help you get a partnership to launch a fintech product. I don't know what you're trying to launch, but let's not bother going into details. You can send an email, we can admin, they have guidance on what to do. can provide you guidance. So let's assume you are trying to go into advertising, or there are also entities that can help you do that. If you go into fintech, just mentioned, if you go into logistics, there are companies that can help you to do that. If you go into a software as a service, global markets, so it depends on that business. Somebody can point you. But let me also mention this. If you have 100% of this company and you are struggling to even know whom to partner, first thing you ask yourself, who are the top knowledge anchors in that particular sector? Just look at the top 10 people you can think of. Out of those top 10 people, you can say, can I reach to 10 of them and see if one or two can like to be my advisor? And some will say, pay me. But some may say, I don't need your money. Can you give me equity in that company? I mean, there are ways of evaluating this. And so don't be too tied down that you don't know the right people to talk. You don't know to reach out, and all of a sudden, you don't know what to do. But to investigate, go to LinkedIn, ask people working in that sector. It could mean that this guy is a very highly respected guy in this sector. You reach out to him, this is what I'm doing. Can you mentor me? Can you coach me? And he looks at you, you've not raised money. He may say, okay, I like the vision, and since you don't have money, how are you going to compensate? You say, okay, I can give you 1%. I mean, I'm not trying to say you go to your company recklessly to people, but consider that as a very viable alternative, because most times knowledge is even more important than even thing they call money. And it can be very, very, very useful. So that's what I would just say there. Now, let's go to, okay, Benjamin, please. Benjamin, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Prof. And co-learners. Congratulations, everyone. I just want to thank you for this platform and for being very, very generous with knowledge. I believe every one of us has gained a lot. Some of us have even paid for the next 3 editions, but I just want you to speak more about Tekedia and what next after Tekedia.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thank you. That was a really great validation. Truly appreciate that. So for Tekedia Capital, that's actually the investment arm of our business. So what we do there is we invest in startups, but interestingly, we are not a venture capital fund. So we have many people. So what we do every 3-4 months, we gather together and we now say, hey, if we like these 5-6 companies, they are raising money. How much do you want to contribute? Some will say, okay, I want to invest 10,000, some 20,000. So that money is put together, we invest in that business. So that's really what is called a syndicate. A syndicate means we work to syndicate capital into promising business. Sure, this morning we had a meeting just at 4 p.m. West African time. One of our startups, this company came, it was worth $4 million when it came. It's exiting at $100 million. So it was a very great moment for our members. So the question now, do we exit or do we keep waiting? Because when the company came, it was worth $4 million. Now it's $400 million. A lot of people are going to make tons of money on that. But someone's saying, can we wait? Because you can get to $1 billion. So that was the first Zoom section I had today. So that's what Tekedia Capital. We take positions in promising companies across Africa and beyond. And we work with just people that are interested in that. That's really, you can just check it on capital.tekedia.com and read about it. That's what it's all about. And of course, there are risks associated with investing in early stage startups. It's not something we really recommend for everyone, I must confess, because we like people that can afford to lose that money to be those that can actually invest in it. Yeah, so capital.tekedia, If you have more questions, our team can schedule to explain what we do there. Thank you. So let's go to,
what about
go ahead.
Atlantic University?
You said what?
Tekedia Atlantic University.
Oh, that one is still going through a license. There's really no information there. We are hoping that when we get further, it's something that, as you know, that getting a license takes physics. So it's a totally different thing. But we are not going through the route of raising money. And the part is that to a large extent, we just write the check as much as we can. We have changed by God's grace. We're so thankful for God's grace. So, well, it's not for investments. We are not planning to raise money from anybody. Yeah, let's go to Obina, please. Go ahead, please. And go ahead, just 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Thank you, Prof. And good evening to my co-learners, and congratulations to all. Prof, mine is just to thank you. I've been following Tekedia for over a year now. It's my 4th program with you, and your consistency and the energy and your liberality of knowledge is something that is quite commendable. You are doing much enough for Africa. You are doing much for Africa. A lot of people you are training here are training others. So the knowledge you're impacting in us is something that Africa as a continent is benefiting from. Thank you so much. Please don't stop this, continue with this, and we'll continue with you. I will keep referring people to Tekedia because it's just a noble venture. Thank you and congratulations, my mates.
Thank you. Gentlemen, you must have heard I had this pastoral accent. Pastor, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know, we have people that have paid for 7 years, I think total of 21 additional thing, I will just laugh. So how do you do that? So we are truly amazed. I know, Pastor, that you have been here many times, people paying for 5 years. So what we're inspired by, and what we are hoping here, this is also one of the visions without having a university, is that even a part that people can attend university without having to pay school fees. But as part of that process of getting education, they have companies within the campus where they are paid to work. So they commit 10 hours in a week, and that will offset their school fees. If you look at it, it's really a very great deal. If I assume that an hourly wage using the startup world is maybe $10 per hour, and a student works in a week for 10 hours, you're looking at, it's $100. $100, they just take at 500. You are really looking at 50,000. Then multiply that by time you spend in the semester. You even say that the student may even pay more through adding value in those companies. So looking at how do we create an educational system that you don't have to be super rich to get decent education. We don't know whether it will work or not, but we have seen what work in Harvard, where they have $100 billion in the bank account. The problem now is, how do they even spend that money? But now you look at in Africa, where the problem is, especially in Nigeria, schools are asking for more money. Whereas they are sitting on top of gold and diamond. So is there any way we can build a new vista in how university system can run? Because in the university system in the United States, I was certainly inspired that a university can have so much money that it doesn't even know what to do with it. And that money is growing faster than they can spend it. The budget of Harvard University is more than the total budget of the Ministry of Education in Nigeria by, I think, 3x. I mean, the budget of Harvard is bigger than the Ministry of Education, I think, by a factor of 3. We're not talking, and Harvard is a very, very largely, relatively small school. When you go to University of Ohio State University, that they admit 40,000 students or thereabout, or Arizona State University, I think Harvard admits about 2,000 to 3,000. There are some that admit 40,000. Now you see, how is it possible that these schools can have billions of dollars in the bank? So that's what we're trying to see. Is there any way to create an educational system where the brain power of young people can actually stimulate innovation and build wealth, that when the factor of production is anchored on knowledge, just nothing you cannot build. So we're just hoping that journey that we can figure out how to do. Thank you so much, and Pastor. So let's take the last one from Adebisi, then we close for that, and thank you.
Oh, good evening, Prof.
Good evening.
Thank you. God bless you, sir. Thank you. Congratulations, my colleagues and my dear business leaders. Thank you. I have nothing to say than just to really appreciate you, Prof. You have really shifted our mind, and you are really building a category king of business school in Africa and probably in the world at large. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you.
And thank you so much. Thank you. So, gentlemen and ladies, please just log into the board, and you will see where you done. Just if you can also share this ready to lead, tag us. We also have information on how you can add your this thing on LinkedIn, and if you want to add a certificate to LinkedIn, there's also a slide. And then how to get a certificate, you have to go here and just follow the instruction here. By tomorrow morning, the team will take care of it. They have already uploaded in the server. We want to thank you, everyone, and want to say congratulations once again. And thank you for co-learning with us at Tekedia Institute. We're so honored for the privilege to co-learn with you. And please come back. We want to have you here. Thank you, and have a wonderful afternoon and evening. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
everyone.
much.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Prof.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Awesome. Awesome.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Don't
Awesome.
forget
Awesome.
about Smith who come.
Never. Congratulate me now.